So I've just been doing some testing of muzzle brakes. I've done this a bunch of times before, but I thought I'd do it with the final product and do a few comparisons between the rifles. So first up, I used a 7mm rim mag in a Hauer 1500, and then in the second lot was a 308 in Tikka. Now, one thing worth noting, both rifles had the barrel cut down. The Hauer was about 20 inches and the Tikka a bit under 18. So I strapped them both to this trolley thing I made up, strapped them down. I've got these numbers here, and when it shoots, it recoils back up. I'm able to see where it gets to on the numbers, and so that's what I've used for my referencing. One thing I noticed, which I thought strange at first, but sort of had to look into it a bit more, and it kind of makes sense now, is both the Hauer and the Tikka, quite different cartridges in terms of capacity. The recoil shown was actually very similar. So yeah, initially I was kind of wondered why that was, just because the cases are quite different size. But when I looked into it, both shooting 150 grain projectiles, and I guess with the barrel cut down, the rim mag probably lost a bit more energy than the Tikka would have in the 308. 308 wouldn't be as affected by a shorter barrel. So I looked at the numbers, and the rim mag was doing about 2,860 feet per second through the chrono, whereas the Tikka was a bit over 2,500. And in terms of energy, that is about 2,700 foot-pounds out of the rim mag, and just over 2,000 or just under 2,100 out of the 308. So there's not a huge amount of difference there, and the rifles actually weighed quite a bit difference. The 308 was 3 kgs, a bit over, or a bit under 3.1, and the Hauer was a bit under 4.1. So quite a big difference there. So I think that's why they come out very similar. But yeah, interesting to see that the felt recoil would have been, with the weight difference between the rifles, would be pretty similar actually between the two. And I mean, you'll notice how much the recoil's cut down. So the recoil with the brake on for the rim mag would be significantly less than the 308. And I mean, obviously everyone's rifle's different barrel lengths, different projectiles, but this is kind of gives you a reasonable idea of how much improvement it can make. And I mean, just in testing, we pretty much sat down and didn't do it all at once, did it over a week, and put 600 rounds through through the muzzle brake and the 7mm rim mag. So I mean, generally that would kick the shit out of your shoulder, and yeah, it was never an issue once. The Hauers do come with a reasonable butt pad, which makes a huge difference, but yeah, it wasn't too bad at all. And then, you know, there's been more rounds than that put through that brake too, for just, you know, general testing. Did some of this earlier on as well. So yeah, I'll cut to the clips and you can see the difference. So you can see the videos, there's a massive recoil reduction. You know, still unusual that the recoil recorded for the REM mag was actually less than the recoil recorded for the 308 with the muzzle brake on, and the other way around without the muzzle brake on. But yeah, and I just wonder if that's the weight difference of the rifles, and probably the fact that the gas is coming out a whole lot faster out of the REM mag, so the muzzle brake's probably a bit more effective. And that sort of showed it in the numbers too. The REM mag, I got a 64% reduction in recoil, and then for the 308 it was a 57, I think, or a bit over. But yeah, so pretty comparable with other products. We are going to do a test of side by side on the how, or on, won't be on the how, but on the same gun, so you can see, you know, the difference with the same setup, because it's pretty hard to gauge. So yeah, kind of similar to other top of the line products out there. I guess the difference being that, you know, it's quite a bit smaller than other products. Yeah, nearly a centimetre shorter, and this is 23 grams. So, you know, there's a lot of equivalent products that, you know, similar performance, which are getting close to 80 grams. So yeah, massive difference, and, you know, hopefully that's a beneficial benefit to people, you know, hunting tops, just a tiny bit less weight, tiny bit less length on your rifle, and, you know, just as effective as the best of them. And we're also doing a muzzle brake specifically for carbon barrels, so they're going to be 24mm in diameter. They also work with bull barrels, I guess. If you are using a steel bull barrel, weight is probably not your biggest concern. You're probably not lugging it around the mountains, but it'll work for both. So at some point we'll do a comparison, put that on the Howler as well with this muzzle brake, and yeah, you'll be able to see the difference. That will be a bit more effective because it's just a bit bigger. There you can see, I'll put a picture up too, but using the 7mm REM mag case, kind of get a reference of how big this thing is or how small it is. So yeah, cheers for watching. I'll put the information up on the website, and, you know, so it's written down there. But yeah, any questions, flick us a message. And also pretty flexible in terms of the product. Do a bunch of threads. We are sort of still building stock, figuring out what everyone will want. So if you have a specific thread, then let me know and we can get it made. You know, a lot of specific requirements can be met, and assuming it's something we can sell to other people, then, you know, with the same price as everything else. So yeah, currently we're doing muzzle brakes this size. We're going to be doing 1/2 inch by 20 TBI, 5/8 by 24, and M14 by 1, M15 by 1, and then in the one for the carbon barrels, there's a few bigger threads as well, so they'll be able to be accommodated with that one. So yeah, cheers, thanks.